Hello and welcome to GBC News. This is Weekly Press Review. I'm sitting in for your regular host, George Sapo, on the front pages of the newspapers this week. And then I'll introduce my guests and we'll get into the details of the week's big stories. We'll start with the papers that came out on Monday. The date is clean. Is the banner headline, Take Over Black Volta Sankofa Gold Project. Foreign trade doctors present fake documents. These stories were on the Monday edition of the Daily Graphic. And of course, Professor Alidu winning the NDC Tamale Central Primary was also on that front page. For the Ghanaian Times that same day, Monday, the relaunch of the National Sanitation Day once again was the banner headline. President Rally Citizens announces performance assessment framework for MMDCEs. 8 perish in road crash at Kormanse, and that was on page 3. Recklessness on display. We saw that picture on the front page of the Ghanaian Times, and Prof. Alidu being elected NDC parliamentary candidate for Tamale Central by-election was also on the front page of the Ghanaian Times for Tuesday. On Tuesday, the Daily Graphic also focused on 3 years after the Apiatse explosion. Livelihoods remain shattered. New buildings, streets hide empty promises, idling funds. And that was the banner. Black Stars on course for World Cup. Jiku ends Mali's dream. President Mahama donates 20,000 protective equipment to share collectors. And that was the front page of the Daily Graphic for Tuesday. The front page for the Ghanaian Times on Tuesday, Ayensu Starch Factory goes waste. Residents appeal to government for its reactivation. That happened on Wednesday. Linda Oklu advocates use of internet wisely by students. And as Amankese chieftaincy dispute, Royal Equia Korang family appeals for government intervention. That was the front page of the Ghanaian Times. Investors and Republic Bank appointing a new independent non-executive director in the person of Sena Dake was also on the front page. A committee and the fund trustee speaking. The utilities propose increments for uninterrupted power and water supply. The front page of Daily Graphic on Wednesday had these banner headlines. For the Ghanaian Times that same day, government secures $1 billion deal to support 300 small-scale. Abronye remanded into police custody. DPS BS Plus offers scholarship to children of helicopter crash victims. Wednesday's edition of the Ghanaian Times newspaper on your screen. On Thursday, the Daily Graphic led with the presidential media encounter. Fight against Galamsey was the banner. State of emergency last resort. President Mahama said that to the media. Men and women gathered there. Economy grows 6.3% in second quarter, driven by services industry. Suicide cases on the rise. Disturbing details. 100 corruption-related cases are under investigation at that media encounter on Wednesday night. So this is the front page of the Daily. Was the banner headlines, Ghana losing $520 million annually, according to the UNDP. Struggled to bring that under control, but finally did. Other stories, struggling SOEs need government attention. ICU speaking there, economy expands 6.3 in quarter 2, 2025. This was the front page of the Ghanaian Times. Graphic is leading with President Mahama flagging a $42 billion import scam. On the banner headline, government earmarks $1 billion to end double track system. Junior Graphic marking a milestone, 25 years in operation. Also there, and Ghana receiving 360 million World Bank funds is also on page 13. Features will fish you out. Page 12 will have details of that. Also from the presidential encounter, 1 billion Ghana cedis allocated to end double track. And we are seeing the photograph of Education Minister Haruna Idrisu pictured with that story. Polugu multi-purpose dam project undergoing scope review, and $3 billion annual food import is on a tariff hike. Those details are also on the front page of the Ghanaian Times newspaper today, Fridays edition. And we'll come back into the studio now and invite you to meet my guests at the table. Right next to me, Mr. Dela Edem is the head of communications at the Minerals Commission and a communication team member for the NDC. Good morning to you and welcome to Weekly Press Review. Great to have you join us. No new face at the table. Jamaluddin Abdullah is a member of the National Communications team for the NPP. Jamal, how are you?
I'm doing good.
And welcome back to the table.
Thank you very much.
So the big stories we'll attempt to seek your views on today will span from the president's media engagement on Wednesday night, the Apiatse explosion, and the reports that are coming from the community that they are dissatisfied with certain things that have happened within the 3 years of the incident. The relaunch of the National Sanitation Day will also be something we'll look at. Of course, utility tariffs going up with implications for all of us seated here at the table, and the worrying statistics of suicide that we received this week from officials as the world marked Suicide Prevention Day. So welcome to the Weekly Press Review. Let's start with the president's media encounter with series, facing the media and accepting some questions through them on behalf of members of the general public. And as we've met my guests, we'll take a short break. When we return, we'll get into the details of the stories on Weekly Press Review. We'll be back. Welcome back to Weekly Press Review on GBC News. I am Thelma Taki, sitting in for your regular host, George Sapo. My guests today, Dela and Jamal, are seated and they will be discussing the big stories with me. Gentlemen, we'll start with one of them assuming office touched on some of the most pressing issues facing the country, from the fight against corruption, illegal mining and the economy. He spoke about governance reforms, social media regulation and also national security. His assurances that there will be no escape for looters, his stance on whether to declare a state of emergency in the Galamsey fight, and other proposals towards ensuring that the lead fight. And our guests will give us their takeaways from these events and on how the newspapers framed the story. Perhaps I'll start with you, Jamal, because I'm sure that Dela would want to listen to what your concerns are and attempt to respond to them. So I'm sure that we all listened to the president, watched the encounter. I was there in person myself. I'll just pick your quick thoughts on what stood out most for you at the encounter. Then perhaps we'll get into the details of what he said about corruption and what he said about Galamsey and the other bit. So, Dela, what was the key thing for you? The presidency says it wants this accountability drive to continue. In fact, we are being told that on Monday and Wednesday, 2 more ministries will be mounting the podium to tell us what they are doing. But this was, we are told, for the president to meet the people of Ghana through the media and to hear their questions and for Ghana to hear his responses. What was your key takeaway from this?
Thank you very much, and greetings to your viewers this morning. It was basically media engagement to let Ghanaians ask questions through their journalists or through journalists, and so who came to the program. 8 months. Let me open my doors and I give journalists the opportunity to ask me questions bothering their mind, and basically that was what was done. And so if you look at the session, the kind of crop of journalists who were invited, I think that it was not open to the public. It was restricted to ask questions. But I think that the key thing was that we have a president who is on top of issues to the extent that every question that was thrown at him perfectly and eloquently well. Now, the reason is that when you are a president, you have a cabinet. All the 18 or 19 ministers come to cabinet to brief you almost every month or every 2 weeks, you should be on top of the issues around the country, because that is what we are presiding over. And so John Mahama has exhibited that indeed when it comes to governance, he's on top of issues. He knows what each minister is doing, but he is aware, he's on top of the issues and raise them adequately.
Like now, what things did you think he did not know?
We were seizing champagnes and burning them, and then we started seizing water pumps. And so when we started seizing the water pumps, it was, we received a directive that we should send it to the Ministry of Agric to be given to farmers. I thought that it had not gotten to him. He didn't know of this one yet. But then he knew in the sector. We have burning, we have the number of water pumps we have seized, 900. He knew. I thought that these are some petty things that he was okay. Now there are major issues that he raised. So you want us to discuss? You want me to discuss the issue?
I mean, I wanted your initial comment so that I can take the last initial ones. Then we can get into
the president's
some bit of detail.
Knowledge base, being on top of the issues and answering the questions and not referring them to any minister is the key issue for me.
Well, so Adam thinks that the president is on top of information. Jamal, what do you think about the presidential encounter?
Thank you very much for the opportunity. Let me say good morning to you and the team and our cherished viewers back home. What he seeks to achieve by making those comments, because you see, as a president, you are briefed all the time. Every week you meet at cabinet. Outside cabinet, ministers troop into the Jubilee House to brief the president on issues. Everybody has a style. This is not the first time a president is meeting the press. During, I can speak for Rawlings, but during Kufuor era, he had what we call the town hall meeting, where people, even ordinary Ghanaians, came and asked questions for the president to answer. He moved with his ministers and stuff. Mills equally did it. When President Mahama came in his first term, he did his own style of meet the press. Everybody did it at the Jubilee House, and his ministers equally did what we call the town hall meeting, where they went to various regions and various towns and cities to meet and interact with Ghanaians. So it is not new. It's nothing new under the sun. I'll commend the government for continuing what successive governments have done. Because if you've been given the mandate to serve the people, you would have to account to the people what you are doing or what you've been doing. So it is nothing new. Then my senior brother goes to say that it's as if the president had everything in his head because he answered every question directly. It has to do with strategy. If you've appointed ministers and you feel like when there's an opportunity or when there's a question, a minister should attend to it, it's normal. There's nothing new about it. But you see, what my brother is forgetting is that the invitation went to a selective people. We don't know how they were selected. We don't know how the questions were arranged for the president.
Do you mind if I share GBC's experience? Because I was at the encounter myself.
When I'm done with my submission, you would like to share, fine.
Because you are wondering, so
well,
I can share one.
I have worked in government and I know how things go. And aside from that, I'm a PR person.
How do things go?
And I know how certain things are done. So I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. There's nothing new under the sun, as I said earlier. I wouldn't be surprised if there were opportunities for questions to be submitted before. Because in some places, that is what, even in the US and
in your experience with your party, is that what has happened?
No, that is not what I'm saying.
Okay.
What I'm saying is there are several approaches to meeting the press. And some of them, you would have to submit your questions before you come. Some too, when you get there, you submit your questions. It's nothing new. And answering questions yourself or bringing somebody to come and answer yourself doesn't mean anything. The most important thing is you've accounted to the Ghanaians, people that elect, which I know we'll discuss, is my disappointment in certain answers that were given. Okay. And my disappointment in the president not taking those are my disappointments. And I know when you give us the opportunity to discuss the issues when it comes to illegal mining and corruption, we'll bisect it appropriately.
I feel that we are leaning towards the illegal mining debate as the very first one that will pick cherry on the cake. The details that he gave with regards to the number of equipment that's been seized, what has happened to them, clarifying the perception that some equipment were being moved from the port in the dead of the night for people, insisting that they were being moved to secured locations with the assistance of the security sector. A lot of things have been said and unsaid. Key among them being the CSO's disappointment that the president said he's reluctant to, call for a state of emergency when it comes to Galamsey. What do you think about the feedback from the presidential encounter on this matter concerning the fight against illegal mining?
Thank you. On the issue of Galamsey and what the president said on when to resort to state of emergency. When somebody says that a state of emergency is the last resort, what it means is that a person has state of emergency. Under the previous administration, Nana Akufo-Addo, and that if you failed to deal with Galamsey, he will vacate the seat. So when you got to a point where you realize that, then please revoke the state of emergency. The minority then, members of opposition members also raised this because we felt that the president had failed. Why? So now the NDC is in power. Since the NDC took over, there have been major political will exhibited by the president. First, the president openly told his appointees that you cannot be a miner in my government. Under the MPP administration, Nana Akufo-Addo could not do that. We had a report submitted by Dr. Frimpong Boateng to the presidency. It was eventually leaked to the public. When that document was submitted to the president, we had names of people, Protozua and others, mentioned it, including Gabriel Chedako and others. They were all mentioned in the report. The president was unable to deal with it. Now we have a president who is able to stand out and investigate. The president is exhibiting that political will that was lacking in the previous administration. So first, political will has been exhibited. Two, we have a president whose government has banned champagne. You can no more import champagne machines into this country. Tell me, you cannot import champagne machines because that is the machine you use on rivers to pollute it. Unless you have taken permission or license from the Ministry of Transport. It never happened. And so what it means is that, yes, if you are into the business of mining, either large scale or small scale, or whatever you want to do, use the excavators for, and you want to import excavators, you need to go to the Ministry of Transport to take clearance. We want to know the number of excavators you are bringing, the purposes you are using the excavator for. The 9th of December when we won the election, when the election results were declared, to the 7th of January when Jomama was inaugurated, we revoked 157 licenses. A government that was fighting illegal mining was issuing us license from top down, not bottom up, from top down, instead of from bottom up. Some of the licenses we saw were signed by the minister, and the Minerals Commission directed to work on documentation. Minister signs a document. The document has not exhausted the process it was supposed to go through. And the Minerals, there is a note on it that the Minerals Commission is supposed to work on documentation and bring. Because then somebody feels that we are exerting power and we need to work on send that document and push it out there. The government took over and revoked all these licenses. For the past 8 years, the minister's off table is packed with applications. The minister has not signed a single license in the last 8 years.
8 years or 8 months?
8 months. In the last 8 months, Ama Kofi Bua has not signed a single application But we feel that we need to sanitize the mining sector before we can allow any other people to engage in the business. This is what the president has done. The things that the MPP failed to do, one of them is the law to exploit forest reserves and give the forest reserve to their own people, Akonta Mining or others, and they were exploiting it. When we came, 9 forest reserves had been taken over by hoodlums. We have succeeded in taking all these 9, except that one of them, I'm hearing, according to the president, I didn't even know of this. That's what I'm saying. That's what I didn't say, soldiers have gone, the illegal miners have gone back to one of the forests. But we took the president the rights to give license to people to go and mine in the forest reserve. The president, the minister for environment, acting minister, Ama Kofi Bua, I was expecting that my brother would have said that, listen, something we could not do in the last 8 years, we brought a bad law. The bad law was exploited in the forest area. It caused a lot of devastation. Therefore, we are sorry to have brought the law. He is rather accusing government of saying we will implement a state of emergency as a last resort. Last resort means that the government has state of emergency. So I see no go and implement state of emergency.
I have a question.
Yes.
When you say last resort, what do you want to see before you realize that this matter is completely broken down? Because we are seeing the water bodies the way they are. We are seeing Ghana Water coming out to say that even as recently as yesterday, Kwanyako Headworks had to be shut down because siltation is a problem. Purifying the water is a problem. We are told that there is a danger that we are getting to a point where our water bodies will not be able to serve our water needs anymore. So
being at the last resort,
as it is.
We cannot talk about it now because the ministry, the minister, and the government has a policy and programs they want to roll out. We have trained 980 blue water guards. And the blue water guards are always along the rivers, fighting people who are polluting the waters. They are arresting and burning champagnes along the Ankobra River and the Pra River, in the Western North mainly. We have decided to recruit more people in the Western region, and in the Central region and the Eastern region to protect the Brim River as well. We have not finished. We have so far recruited 980.
These strategies that you talk about.
Yes, that is it. We are supposed to recruit 2,000. We have so far recruited 980.
Wouldn't you agree that similar strategies were also employed? Not the same, similar strategies were employed by Blue Water Guards. There was a task force, 2 of them that were set in place to go into the protection of our rivers and forest reserves. So were they not similar? Are there no similar strategies that you are deploying?
No.
Okay.
The MPP is a different political party.
I know they are, and I said it's a similar, not the same strategy.
We cannot implement similar programs. The MPP attempted something they call river guards. Regular guards have taken us to court because they used them for 3 months, and they are now taking the Minerals Commission to court because they felt that they were employed and they were not paid. And so the issue is in court right now.
Remuneration aside, the task they were assigned is what we are talking about.
These are a group of people who were recruited, trained, but they were never used. Now they have taken they are taking the Minerals Commission to court because they feel that they were recruited to do a job. They did not do it. We are now using them. We have uniformed them. They are working and giving their report. If you go to on WhatsApp platform, we have Blue Water Guards platform, and daily we are receiving report from them. Yes, there are other things that we are not perfect here. We have not gotten to the stage where we feel that we will roll out. Because, for instance, we realize that when we go to some of the regional, when we go to some district and regions, the police officers were complicit. And that is the reason why the IGP decided that he needed to reassign all the police officers in those districts.
And the IGP's men have been recalled.
Absolutely, because we are about to deploy the NIMOS. You see, there are so many things that people don't know here. That is why I'm here. There are so many things people don't know. When you go to a mining area and you go to an illegal site, you will not be able to differentiate the difference.
The difference between
the illegal mining and small-scale mining. You will know. When I take my brother to the place and you will not know what's the difference.
But if it's in a forest reserve, it's illegal. If it's and if they are not following the laid down mining regulations, then it is illegal. So you could have a license and still be engaging in illegal mining.
Yes, you can have a license and be engaging in illegal mining. But I think nobody issues or gives water.
For the river, yes.
But in a forest reserve. The MPP did. To the extent that 9 of our forests were degraded.
Okay. Wrap it up for me.
To me, if anybody is talking about mining and illegal mining, the president's response is that we will resort to state of emergency when we have exhausted our plan. The NDC has a manifesto. Look at the NDC manifesto and see what the NDC. The NDC is encouraging responsible mining. And that is why we are coming up with the cooperative mining. So if people are doing illegal mining, and we bring them into groups and give them license to go and mine and give them regulations, it is a better way of regulating them than doing illegal mining.
Okay.
So there are measures we roll out. And when we are exhausted with illegal mining,
then
we will resort to
when we get to the last resort. I still don't know when that last resort will be. So what color of water do we want to see? What color of water do we want to see to say that we are the last resort?
Tell me,
how many lives?
When we talk about when would it be?
How many lives do we want to lose before this becomes a state of emergency?
4-year mandate. The NDC has 4-year mandate. To sit here and say 8 months, the problem that the MPP could not solve in 8 months should be solved in eight months. It's far-fetched.
Okay.
It beats logic.
Okay.
It doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense for anybody to say that problem that the MPP was unable to solve in 8 years, the NDC should solve it in 8 months.
Okay.
And where is your blueprint? When are you going to call for state of emergency? In 8 months.
Easy. We're just warming up into this subject, Ella. So slow it down a bit for me. But let me pick your thoughts, Jamal. I've heard Her Ladyship, the former Chief Justice, say, well, it's early days yet. Let's give the president the benefit of the doubt. Let's wait for these policies that Dela is talking about and the things that this administration has rolled out to travel their natural course. And then perhaps at a later date, revisit the conversation about a state of emergency on this fight against illegal mining. So the president did address that situation. He did say livelihoods for persons who were previously engaged in mining had to be taken into consideration. And he referred to the loss of the heroic 8 on August 6 in that helicopter crash as one of the comments that have come after the encounter. This is where I welcome your views on the subject.
Thank you very much, Selma. I know you are amazed, you are shocked by the assertions made by my senior brother here.
Am I?
Aren't you?
If I am, I'll say it.
I was staring at you.
You were?
Yes.
Maybe it's for other reasons.
Reactions. You were even...
Maybe it's for other reasons.
You asked counter questions because you were amazed. Things he was saying are not new. And you even told him that, but these are similar things that where under illegal mining has become a canker. During the previous administration, my brother Dela Edem said we did nothing. But he's forgotten. He's forgotten, Masa, it's not what you are. Why have you now been assigned to the mining sector?
He works with the Minerals Commission, so perhaps that explains his passion. Dela, leave it to me. But he was quite quiet.
In a very uncultured manner. Please stop that.
But he's been largely quiet during your submission. Largely quiet during your submission. So let's extend him. Let's extend him the few minutes that you also had to share his thoughts on this matter.
My senior brother, take your time, calm down.
Jamal, speak to me.
Everything you said here is not new to our audience. What I'm trying to say is illegal mining has become a canker. It didn't start today. It didn't start under Nanado. It didn't start under John Mahama I. It didn't start under Mills. It didn't start under Kufuor. It has been there for a long time. And as and when we grow, or when our mining sector grows, a lot of illegal activities that are harmful to our environment has become an issue we are all discussing. The media joined in the fight against Galamsey. When you go to the studio, you see samples of river bodies displayed on the screen. When progress were made in the fight against Galamsey, the samples began to change, and we all witnessed it and acknowledged the fact that measures Dankwa Akufo-Addo introduced. My brother spoke about registering and tracking mining equipment, heavy mining equipment. It is not new. The Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo government enacted an LI in 2020 to track a command center that was tracking all the equipments, all the heavy mining equipment. I have this here by the Chronicle. I knew you come. I have this here by the Chronicle. Maybe my brother would say I am misleading the public like he is doing. I would give it to Thelma, whom the public will view as a neutral person to read. Thelma, here's a story. I can share it with you. Kindly pass it to her. She would read it to the guards. And aside from we had militaries, equipped the militaries that were patrolling on our rivers. We had drones that were monitoring the river bodies and making sure that we fight those who were polluting our rivers. To the extent that, look, a national women's organizer of the MPP's equipment was destroyed because they were caught to be involved in illegal mining. This was a government that was dedicated in fighting illegal mining. What people, we know that is your livelihood. We cannot stop you from doing it, but we want you to do it in a manner that will not destroy our environment, in a manner that you would be registered and regulated, in a manner that you will be monitored and ensure that you will not go against the regulations of mining in this country. We did all this. What were we told? To declare state of emergency. What were we told? We were told that we were not doing anything to fight illegal mining. People said the president was a president, and if he wanted to end illegal mining, he could have done it within a day. People made all sort of assertions and allegations.
Because he had bet his presidency on it.
And he did work tediously to ensure that there was an improvement.
Some would say that Galamsey was the price the NPP paid.
I used to come to the breakfast show where Kafui was hosting. The display, the water was improving.
It's still there. I'm on the breakfast show. It's still there.
Is it the old or the current?
The current one.
The current one. You would see the difference with what was the difference in what was displayed last year and this year. Because today, what can we talk of? What you would see is that all our water bodies have been polluted. National securities have gone to take over mining concessions and are mining themselves.
National security.
Yes,
that is bold.
Look, this is our public game. Mustafa Bandi admitted on the media. Yes,
You have not changed your character of lies.
You see,
you have not changed.
Look,
you have to give Jamal the courtesy to make his point. Then he will give you the same courtesy to make your point. So let's not interject.
If you've been on the show with me, you wouldn't have been doing what you're doing.
Jamal is fine.
I'm telling you, because I would have heckled you throughout your show. So respect yourself. Respect yourself. Let me respect myself. Let us provide whatever we want. Analysis we got here.
Dela, it's not your turn to speak.
Are you
Dela, whoever knows you knows you are late. Whoever knows you, Dela, whoever knows you, know that you've been engaging in propaganda lies, manipulation all your life.
Jamal, I will not accept these kinds of comments at my table.
Do you?
We'll take a quick break. When we return, when cool heads prevail, we'll continue.
Who doesn't know you?
Kwame. He's not just any Kwame. He's Kwame the TV license legend. And he's making a real difference. Kwame's contribution helps bring our communities closer together. Because of Kwame and others like him, we will all have access to amazing TV programs, educational content, plus broadcasting infrastructures are maintained, and our culture is beautifully promoted. So GBC is asking all to respond to this civic obligation and pay your TV license fee. For individuals, it's 3 CDs per month or 36 CDs per year. If you have multiple sets, per year, and you pay the invoiced amount directly to GBC. So let's all take a moment to appreciate Kwame, the TV license legend. Wherever you are, just dial *447 *333# and follow the prompt. It's your civic duty, so pay your TV license today. GBC, the authentic and trusted voice of Ghana.
Welcome back to Weekly Press Review on GBC, a healthy discourse, but we also encourage a healthy discourse with loads and loads of respect. My guests this morning have recommitted, because they committed already before they got here, recommitted to those ideals of discourse with respect. Delaidem is the head of communications at the Minerals Commission, and Jamaluddin Abdullah is a member of the NPP's communication team. Gentlemen, but we've settled this, right? That we are going to go ahead.
Is there a problem?
We are going to go ahead and not interject each other when the other person is making a point, right? Okay, Ghanaians have seen you. You are the representatives of your party, so anything you do here, that's what your party will be remembered for. Are we aligned?
Sure.
Dela, Jamal, are we aligned? Jamal?
Oh, yes.
Excellent. So you were making your point on, wrap that up for me so that I can have another opportunity to engage.
I thought the time will be allocated fairly.
No, the time will be allocated
I showed you the evidence of the Mining Commission inaugurating that national security have taken over mines. And yes, Erastus Asaridonko, when you go on his page, 21st May, the national security has taken over Akete Chieso mines and now mining illegally. Mustapha Bandi came on air to confirm this statement that yes, they have taken over. And within this 8 months, we've seen national security operative storming the offices of Forestry Commission, storming the offices of agencies and institutions that are fighting illegal mining to stop them from operating, locking up offices.
I have loads of respect for the work that Erastus Asaridonko has done and is doing in this fight against illegal mining. And on this table, we would want for an outcome of those claims to be made before we share that information to the appropriate investigating authority.
Yes, he says now the minister does not pick up his course.
So the appropriate investigating authority will then come to tell Ghanaians what it is.
The police task force, the IGP's task force that was helping in the fight against illegal mining, where party executive, you haven't seen it.
No, well, didn't we see and hear of similar situations in the previous administration? Just like the same pages you are referring to.
I am making my statement. If you have any counter statement, you provide them.
And I'm making them to you. Those same platforms made those claims.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if at the time there were MPP people equally involved.
You wouldn't be surprised?
Yes, I wouldn't be surprised. Because look, the mining issue, the illegal mining issue is a canker that needs to be addressed. But the hypocrisy at which certain people made certain statements is talking about now. the hypocrisy, the
He
Mr.
said
President.
he's reluctant.
Mr. President, why are you reluctant today? You told us that President Akufo-Addo is a president, and he has to address the problem.
Should we read the
why are you not addressing the problem, Mr. President? Why have you directed that the police task forces should be withdrawn? Mr. President, why are our river bodies as polluted, more polluted than they used to be? Things are getting out of hand. Mr. President, you know that there's a statement from the coalition for whatever, mining, this Kenashibe and his senior Osiaku. They are disappointed in the president. Yes.
To be, I get very confused when you move.
I know, but I can't tell. I'm saying he seems to be aligned with the president, and it's a known fact. Seems to be aligned with the president and his party. Has come out to say that Akufo-Addo fought Galamsey or illegal mining more than what. You see, there are things I don't want to say. Do you know that during the campaign in 2020, illegal miners mobilized resources?
2020?
Yeah, wait.
So 2 elections ago.
Wait.
No, I just want to be clear on the timeline.
Illegal miners mobilized resources and provided vehicles to John Dramani Mahama. His people went to the lives of... Yes, it is. Google it. You see, these are not lies. Google it. If illegal miners did not donate to President Mahama, they donated.
Hold on, you have
the guy openly goes about and what's the guy in Ashanti region. And aside from that, you see, what illegal miners? What did President Mahama say? That arresting people when he was campaigning, that it is wrong to arrest those involved in illegal mining. When he comes,
Jamal, wrap up your submission for me.
When he comes, he would free all of them. He would pardon them and arrest the kingpins. Today, he incited the youth when he was campaigning as an OMC and arresting you, the grassroots. When I come, I would ensure that I will arrest the foreigners. Today, you and I know that when Chinese are arrested at illegal mining sites, they are quickly expatriated back to their countries. Where is the promise President Mahama gave to Ghanaians?
Thank you, Jamal.
Where is the promise he gave to Ghanaians? Tony Obin and Co. were at mining and Kweku Boying were at illegal mining sites, encouraging them after the NDC wins power, they should come back and pick up their tools and destroy our environment.
Thank you for your submission.
Destroy our river.
Dela, I'll give you a few minutes to also...
And you'll be giving me a few minutes
equally. The notes that you've made in disagreement with what Jamal has said, talk us through them quickly. We would have to move on to the next topic.
First and foremost, a platform like this should not be used for negative propaganda. Where somebody sits here and says, he knows of illegal miners who came together, contributed money and paid it and bought a car for the flag bearer of the NDC, John Mahama. On a platform like this. Then an MPP activist comes and says, he knows of illegal miners who contributed money. The MPP are still not recovered from their defeat. They feel so, oh please.
Jamal, you can't interject, we promise.
I'm sorry, okay, I'm not going to. But should I give him a little of what he did?
No.
Okay, with respect to the...
Oh, but if I say something, you say it's a lie. That is the only thing I said. If you say, or something, I will prove to you that it's not a lie. If
I'm providing evidence.
Dela, speak to me, I'm listening.
Providing evidence.
Dela, speak to me, I'm listening.
When you finish, you pass it to me.
Dela, speak to me, I'm listening.
But you do that.
Jamal, you have to allow Dela to make his point.
I've not interjected.
But if you get up from your seats to do this, that's an interjection on its own. So I'll hand your phone over back to you. Dela, if you may be so kind, just hand it over back to him. Thank you.
When I'm providing...
And please continue with your submission. You disagree with the point he made about the allegation that some persons contributed to President Mahama's campaign who were illegal miners.
And suggest or alleged, I just alleged that illegal miners collected money and contributed it and bought a car for the president on this platform. And the host
campaign picker.
You say he's adding it, and the host,
because that's his allegation. The truth of the matter is, on all GBC's platforms, you have the opportunity to go and back up your claims and your allegations with facts.
So if Jamal
and
is
so if
invited
there is a
to come
legal
and explain,
challenge, he will provide the evidence.
He provide evidence.
He will provide
If Jamal
the
is
document
invited to prove to the national security, the group of illegal miners who contributed and bought a car for John Mahama, the then flag opposition leader, he will be able to prove that.
So that's your first point on that allegation. Let's move on.
He said the control room of the Minerals Commission tracked all excavators in this country. It's a lie. I work at the Minerals Commission. That control room he is talking about is under my control.
What happens there?
What? You don't ask me. You let me talk.
Oh, we have to educate the public.
Under the NPP when we took over, they tracked only 68 excavators. And if you like, call the chief executive officer, the former.
So some
Mr.
tracking goes on
Please.
Please. Della, if you do that, the conversation will not be informative to our viewers. And I'll ask Jamal questions.
When Jamal is speaking, you allow him
with the greatest of respect.
When I am asking, I am telling you something in my control room, and I'm explaining, and you are asking me questions about something that I'm telling you.
Because the public needs to understand what you're saying.
So let me land and you ask the question. Let me land and then you ask the question.
What does the tracking room do? Where's the antagonism in that?
Am I supposed to speak about the control? He only made allegation that the control room tracked every excavator.
And you are taking advantage to educate the public.
I am at the control room.
That's
I am at the
why
Minerals
you are
Commission.
the best person to educate the public.
Please, so you allow me to land and you ask your question. Allow me to land. Then you ask your question. The control room is talking about. We have 68 excavators tracked. Recently, we have increased the number to 624 excavators, and it's still not enough. What did we do? All the imported excavators that were imported in the name of the MPP or during the MPP administration landed during our time. They are at the port, over 1,570. So we decided to call in DVLA to come and do licensing of the excavators. It has never happened before. Excavator from the port and you go to Sekuyuoso. And you are using the excavator in Sekuyuoso. When you move the excavator from Sekuyuoso and you go to Mpoho, the excavator will not work again because the tracker will indicate to the control room that something has gone amiss. You have moved from your location to a restricted area. So for somebody to suggest that under the MPP administration, they did the tracking of whatever, it's a lie. I am telling you, we have now done 624 and we have imported 700 more and give space. Now, police withdrawal. He talks about police withdrawal. The police officers were withdrawn because we have received petitions. And this is it. This is one of the petitions on my phone. This is from Aldoc Company Limited. They are petitioning the president and petitioning the Minister of State. What did they petition about? According to them, they have police officers and some rogue soldiers who come to their mining companies to harass them. They go there to harass them. Meanwhile, they are licensed mining companies. So if you are a soldier or a police, and your duty is to fight illegal mining, and you end up going to a licensed mining company to harass and stop them, that person, you need to be stopped. And that is why we withdrew. The police have withdrawn or been asked that they should withdraw. And then the NIMOS have been rolled out. As I'm speaking, I've bent 99 Shamfai machines this morning. The NIMOS, that is a National Anti-Illegal Mining, and say that the illegal miners have gone this, the president is endorsing this. This president has been in office for 8 months. We are rolling out our policies and programs. We will not be stampeded into doing things just to please the public. We want to do things in accordance with the law and the strategy of a political party that is in power. About party executive taking over mining. It is a false. And I dare Jamal to produce an evidence here that somebody is a party person and is engaged in mining somewhere without a license. If you come to the Minerals Commission, people are applying for licenses because they want to go do responsible mining. That's one I can assure you. But to suggest here, in a manner of equalization, to say that the MPP, the NDC party executives have taken over mining, where is your evidence?
You have one more minute.
Produce the evidence here and let's all see it and speak to it.
One more minute.
That allegations we are making. Now, some water bodies are very clean and some are very bad. The truth be told. I have seen Ankobra this morning, and I have pictures on my phone from the Blue Water Guards here. And this is the Ankobra River, as I'm here. The boys are burning excavators on it. They are burning champagne machines on it. When you look at the water, you will see that it is clean. And it is just this morning, something that is happening around the Ankobra River. So, to me, we have come here to educate the public. There's propaganda. When somebody thinks that, a political party thinks that it is when we lie blue, black, when we deceive the public, when we spin issues, that is the only way we can become relevant as a political party. That era is gone. Because today, everybody can put a camera on himself.
You have the time now, 4 minutes for you as well.
Thank you. You see, when we talk about things that are happening and my brother feels like he can just call it names, tag us as people who are misleading the public, it is laughable. Because today, in the era we find ourselves, if the traditional media doesn't report it, then the social media will report it. Do you know that yesterday there was a video of Takwa Market caving in? Have you seen the trade? Had caved in. And NADMO, from when I has got into, Thelma, and I know you admit, this is not politics. This is a fact. I made a statement and he said it was a lie about pickups being donated to the NDC. He says the National Concerned Small Scale Miners Association of Ghana has released 1,200 pickups to support the National Democratic Congress, NDC, and its
small-scale miners, illegal miners. Are small-scale miners illegal miners?
The young man heading the small-scale miners was president of the concerned
My question is on
the president of the concerned small-scale miners was recently arrested for engaging in illegal mining.
Whether they are concerned or unconcerned, educate the public. Is small-scale mining illegal?
Concerned. We have a small-scale mining, but this illegal? Is a concerned small-scale mining group.
Jamal,
this is Michael Kojo Prepra was arrested for engaging in illegal mining. I'm not the one fabricator who is now the petroleum hub boss. Kweku Boyim, who was then a communication director of the NDC. Videos of them at illegal mining sites,
and like
encouraging them to quickly pick up their tools and continue with their trade.
And like I keep saying, when the appropriate authority reaches out to you for those details,
for what details?
I'm sure you will be pleased to share them.
The story is on Ghana Web. Thelma.
Not everything, and it's another thing the president.
And he talked about how we need to understand certain things. We should
be used to disseminate disinformation.
This is not social media. This is Ghana Web published story.
The internet is a big place.
This is Ghana Web published story.
But you admit
but Thelma, you see, we need to also understand certain things. The threat that when national security picks you up, we should stop doing that.
It's an arrest, a conviction.
We should stop doing that.
Guilt.
We should stop doing that.
It's an arrest, a conviction of guilt.
Wait. We should stop doing that. Do you know why? There is a constitutional right. If I make a statement and the statement, somebody feels he or she is offended with the statement, there is a civil procedure in addressing the statement. We know where we've gotten to. Let's not destroy the democracy because of our people can attest to the fact that what happened in this country before we got to 92 is something we shouldn't go back to. Why? Today people cannot speak. People in the previous times made derogatory statements. People in previous time could look at ethnicity, some ethnic leaders, chiefs, kings, and denigrate them. They were not arrested, molested, detained, harassed. Civil procedure to court. A lot of people, because of the statement he made, was he harassed? He came into the country and even enjoyed security. The security, we were told, that was assigned to him. was even more than what some ministers were enjoying.
Okay, I believe that your time on this topic is up, and we'll move on to our next conversation on the Apiatse explosion 3 years on. 3 years ago, we saw the tragedy that befell the community in the western region when a truck carrying explosives, more also displaced. Ghana wept with Apiatse, and the government promised to rebuild lives and also restore the explosion. But survivors say their pain remains, from unpaid medical bills to loss of livelihoods and psychological scars. The report is that out of 112 million Ghana cedis raised to support the Apiatse community, nearly half still sits unused, whilst complaints of neglect grow louder. And it started from when your party was in power and the promises that you made, even the fine that was imposed on the mining company that was transporting the bill that the government then had to pick up. Today, it looks like we are carrying the burden from 3 years on into this year. And this is what Apiatse is saying. What do you say?
First of all, you see, my condolences to those that lost 3 years ago. It is sad whenever a life is lost, because we don't know the impact that life would make in the progress and development of our country. So Ghana lost precious lives on that day. The government then, together with Ghanaians and other big corporations, came together, mobilized resources, tried to bring back livelihood, or try to put back lives into the Apiatse community. We saw huge development infrastructure projects being undertaken. Houses were done and commissioned last year. Fortunately, I was at the that will come on board. You've seen, but you see the psychological, emotional, among others. What I felt
then in power?
Yes, to help, talk to these people, because that disaster, it is sad. But when it left power, we expected that who left out was what I believe of them, especially these young ones that are coming from universities. We assign them to the communities and help talk to before the disaster occurred. We can't say that, yes, because the disaster has occurred, livelihood will not continue. I'm happy life's activities are ongoing, the schools are open, community centers, livelihood, but people still have whatever they have emotional. To be very honest, I heard that, and at that time, the minister addressed the issue that they had a list of people, and I think there was a mechanism.
What was the means of tracking those who needed that support?
You see, the
so
government,
that they can be assisted, they could be assisted to cover the bills at the hospital.
The government set up a committee which consists of people who were not even members of the government. People who were well respected and within the country were on board that committee. They did their best. And as I'm saying, the kind of impact that disaster had or that accident had, whatever you do would be like a drop in the ocean. But it doesn't mean you shouldn't continue doing it. It's a continuous process. We cannot just get up one day or within a short time and say that we've addressed all the issues of the accident. The community needed some help. They could reach out to those people. So those complaints, I remember Reverend Joyce Aye was on one of the media stations talking about it last year, where people sent messages to complain that they were paying for their own bills. And she addressed that issue. You reach out to them, they look at the issue, they correct it. And she apologized. Probably during the capturing of, are those call centers, are the committees still working among others? We should understand. We should let the people know that if you are still facing difficulty, because for checkup among others, So the fact they should reinstitute the committee to take care of it, it is in the right direction. We want people to remember that tomorrow, the government, irrespective of which government was in power or which party was in power, protected its citizens, provided whatever it needed to provide for its citizens.
By your own admission, some of what they needed.
You see, these things, you wouldn't have it perfect. Look, you remember the...
What do you wish could have been done better by the administration then?
Well, that is what I'm saying. If the call centers are not functioning, it should be reinstituted. If the committee has handed over their work, I don't know if they have handed over or they've not handed. If they've handed over their work, a committee can be reconstituted. If the committee are still functioning, and probably because they felt they've addressed major part of the issue, I think the minister should sit with them and draw new parameters for them to address.
Did party politics shadow the handling of the Apiatse disaster, which led to what some say was a neglect?
Well, I didn't see party politics.
The victims.
I didn't see party politics in it. What I saw was a country that felt saddened by the disaster and put in measures that could address those disasters. Today, when you're traveling on your highways across regions, you'd see those vehicles carrying those explosives, having escorts. And I'm always impressed. It is due to the disaster that brought, or the accident. Somebody wouldn't accept it when I say disaster. Due to the accident that brought
it was a disaster.
It was a disaster. Due to the disaster that brought about this measure. Aside from that, I think there are times that have been allocated for the movement of this explosive, among others. A lot of measures were put in place. Infrastructure was built, which you and I will attest to the facts. And the resources of funding, little funding was provided for, little capitals were provided for people to at least set up businesses among us.
You said the houses were built, but livelihoods have not been restored.
That is what I'm saying. Psychologically, you can't just restore livelihood by giving people houses and money. It has a huge psychological impact that you need to find a way to address it. Some people would live with that impact throughout their life. Some too, with guidance and support from the government, they can be able to at least get their lives back together.
Okay, General.
And this is an opportunity. I want to use this opportunity, even though I'm in opposition. Maybe the law will reinforce or will support me on my... Please, NGOs and religious entities that believe they can support the people psychologically, emotionally. Please, you can take a trip there sometimes and talk to them, engage with them. Try to do things and programs that will bring back livelihood. At least if the mature people are still impacted, we should be able to save the younger ones so that they would impact the country in the nearest future.
Dela, are you aware if the committee has handed over some notes to this administration? Because 3 years ago, 20th January 2022 is when this disaster happened. And the survivors still say they are paying their medical bills and they feel unsupported.
I wouldn't be able to say emphatically whether, but I think that once you are a minister, you take over a ministry and it falls under your sector, you should be able to address whatever problems that are there. Because what happened 3 years ago was a national disaster. The whole village was razed down by bomb explosions. 13 people died on the spot. 3 people died later at the hospital, making it 16. People got injured, property destroyed. Now the difficulty of the people, or the difficulty they are encountering now, is how to survive, put body and soul together. And that is the difficulty. Yet, the graphic reporter claims that out of the 112 million that was raised, 52 million is still sitting in the account.
That's why I ask, have notes been handed over, and what's the plan to disburse, whether it's to disburse the 52 million, what's being done with the remaining money if the people need the money?
Say, and the major concern of the people of Apiatse. I have been there, and I have seen the buildings.
Some have cracks in them already.
Thank you. Thelma, the two of us cannot stay in that room. They are too small. It's like cubicles.
But some were built based on the already existing
structure,
living arrangements that the people had. So if they had 1 bedroom, it's between 1 and 7 bedrooms.
There are some single. Those buildings are put up for single people. So
they were disbursed based on what was raised down.
Thelma, let me respond to your issue. People suffer disaster, and they were in a bad state. You put them in the same state as an insurance, or you improve their life. And so to suggest that they were in a very uncomfortable structures.
I did not say that.
No, you said that they built
so if you had a 1 bedroom, they gave you a one bedroom.
Exactly.
So I did not say.
A bedroom, but I'm saying that the size, the rooms are too small. Standard size room, because you are building with monies donated by civil society, and so you want to enhance the lifestyle of people who have suffered disaster. So you do.
I saw nothing wrong.
Please,
Jamal, we agreed that when a person was making a submission,
Jamal said too small to accommodate a man and a wife and children. It is built like 1 single room for 1 person.
Let's talk about.
But it has already.
It's happened. What's the next thing?
It has already been built. It is part of the problem of the people. 124 buildings, good. But I'm saying that if that money that is sitting in the account, 52 million, I'm sure probably might have accrued some interest if it's something, or it has not been touched, whatever, consolidated. But that money must be put to enhancing the livelihood of the people in the community. Some capital, it could be given to Maslow, for Maslow to go and distribute the money and have record that these monies were given to these people without any profit making. No, they should use it for their business ventures and activity. Money to be sitting in an account for almost a year plus. Almost 1 year, 8 months now. That we need to do something drastically about it.
So,
and I think,
are you suggesting that as at now you're not aware of whether or not this matter has been brought to the attention of the minister under this administration, so a way forward can be profit?
The minister is supposed to know.
Okay.
When you are a minister, you take over. You cannot give an excuse that I don't know this or don't need it. And that is why there is official talk. Once you take over, you are supposed to find out everything under your jurisdiction.
So why are they still in that state? If you've been in power for 9 months, we expect that now the minister knows per your analysis.
Yes.
Why has he not done anything in 9 months?
Good. So you see, immediately this one comes up. You should know that. Why is it that if the money is sitting down, there is no legal frameworks binding the money? Why can't the minister go for it and be touched? I am suspecting there are some hindrances. Other than that, what is wrong going into an account and picking who are the signatories to that account in any case before you can access the money? So, and you know the bureaucracy in Ghana. Certain things must be done before that money can. Let's quicken up things and distribute the little money, not even the huge money that is sitting in the account. 52 million is huge. You said that yes, something happened, but at least it has brought a little bit of progress to the life of the people in that community. I'm not saying it is a disaster, but the people should be treated in such a way that they will benefit and say that something bad happened to our children.
When should we come back to ask some questions about what has happened?
I think when the minister, I'm sure the minister has had press conference, the accountability series, yes. So somebody should have brought the issue up, it would have drawn his attention. But I think that as a general cause of this particular thing, because you are right as a response, the minister should be able to give you feedback and resolve the issue.
We'll move on to our next item on the list, the relaunch of National Sanitation Day. And we saw President John Mahama officially relaunching the NSD under the Clean Up Ghana agenda. Sanitation Day will now be observed on the first Saturday of every month. Metropolitan, municipal and district chief executives, how clean their MMDAs are. So how clean the assemblies are will be a key performance indicator. They've been directed to clear visible public nuisances. Markets are being targeted, lorry parks, schools, ceremonial streets, etc. Daily started this September. In Greater Accra, we know there's a lot happening and a lot not happening. So talk us through, Adam, Dela. Sanitation Day. We've closed shops and, small businesses apart from emergency services on the first Saturday for a few hours. Cleaned, waste management is board. That will be a game changer this time around.
Thank you. Thelma, I think that was on UTV on Monday. And somebody raised the issue. Why should there be the relaunch of Sanitation Day? And so, if somebody says that what is new about it, we live in a country where you go to every institution, everywhere, and people use polythene bags, plastics everywhere, and they dissipate them anywhere, anyhow. People do not feel ashamed to throw away kind of things. So when you launch a program like National Sanitation Day, what it does is that it rekindles people's communal spirit. It creates awareness in people that there is a government. The government says that let's conscientize ourselves and make sure that we are able to clean our environment every Saturday, every Sunday. So if you live in a community where you see that every Saturday the municipal chief executive, people within the community are all out on the street cleaning every day, it should tell you something that, if people clean my environment and clean my gutter every day, why should I wait when it is raining, carry my refuse and go and dump it in the raining water so that the rain will sweep it away? Why should I do that? So the purpose is that it must conscientize people. Let's change our attitude, the way we do our things, because it is stated in the Bible. Cleanliness is next to godliness.
The sanitation bylaws have not changed.
It has not changed.
And the ones that existed in the previous editions of National Sanitation Day still prevail until now. Fantastic. Why not champion compliance and enforcement? The bottom line is the same.
It is not. First, to the bus stop boys. So now a different group of people have been designated, assigned to do specific jobs in Accra.
One group of people, one. The bus stop boys are one group.
Yes.
The sanitation problem.
I should say, insist that when you are a municipal chief executive or an MC or DCE, you must make sure that your community is clean. That is the directive. And so being a chief executive officer, you must make sure that your area, so it comes what? Enforcement of the law.
Which is what I'm asking.
Exactly.
Why not champion enforcement? Why? You see, a whole cleaning company, waste management company had resources and they still had challenges. And that tells us the magnitude, or should suggest the magnitude of the situation of the problem of sanitation in the country. So enforcement.
The waste management company was doing a job. But somewhere along the line, we realized that whilst you paid them 800 and 1,000, they were paying their workers 250 cedis. About it. It is not like this is a new company that has started job for 2 days. We need to make a little bit of money. Zoom Lion has been around for over 15 to 20 years. And you are a resource to do other jobs in other countries and do something about the salary of these workers. They matter to us a lot. Because somebody cannot be working for you every morning, sweeping the street and taking 250. If he stays at Medina and takes a car to wherever he is working for the Zoom Lion, that transportation alone, when it deducted from the 250 at the end of the month, there is nothing left.
But as sanitation, what the regulations say, enforcement.
So I am glad that you are talking about attitude. We need to change our attitude, and that is why we need to launch the program for people to see that this is the way we want to go.
Relaunch, okay.
The relaunch. This is the way we relaunch. This is the way we want to go. See, every government and its policies and programs, and a government feels that we attach a lot of importance to environmental sanitation, and therefore let's conscientize people to do the right thing. Municipal chief executive have been directed. They are supposed to enforce the bylaws. The metro and whatever assemblies are supposed to make sure they do the job.
Right.
And so to me, the launch of the program was just to conscientize the public and bring everybody on board, and let's do this to keep our environment clean. And I think there is absolutely nothing wrong with that one.
Jamal, so you have also lived through days of National Sanitation Day. You've seen the shops close on some Saturday mornings, and we've gone through several National Sanitation Days, and now it's been relaunched. What kind of breath of fresh air are you hoping this will inject into our drive to keep our cities and communities clean?
Thank you very much. Do you remember the first National Sanitation Day?
The 2014 one?
Oh, yeah. Where were you then? Oh, I'm just asking. Or you wouldn't want to share it with your audience? After the show, you tell me.
I want to hear your views on it.
Oh, okay. Did you hear the allegations? Cleanliness, as we all know, is next to godliness. Encouraging people to clean their environment is nothing new. We've seen it before. And the government feels like they believe in it.
First Saturday
of every month, they are going to devote some budget to all districts and national and whatever ministries to engage in sanitation. There's no problem with that. But inaugurated, we hear back stories that are unpleasant to the ordinary citizens. I believe that we already have the regulations. All we needed to do, if we can use that money we are using to celebrate every month to employ our graduates who would move as sanitation task forces within our local vicinities, we would be able to achieve some results.
Like tankers and samasa.
Yes. And aside from that, you see, the issue of sanitation, people pouring refuse at where they are not supposed to do. People putting refuse in drainage and gutters, among others. It is an attitudinal thing, it's a societal thing. When you live in a certain society and you see people doing it, you also tend to do it. We need to ensure that companies that have been contracted to pick up refuse dumps would pick them timely. We need to ensure that at least every region would have 2 or more refuse dump system or dump sites where it can help in the helping, because usually you hear when they don't come to pick it up, they'll tell you the dump sites are full. Now we even have these young guys who use these motorcanes to go around and pick refuse dump from people. It is good. It has created a job for them. When we are able to get these dump sites, it will encourage more people to go into it. It's a source of revenue, and they are making money. They are happy doing it. We should find a way to encourage people to help in making sure our environment are clean.
Do you see this relaunch doing that?
Religious leaders should equally encourage people. Because when we go to the churches, when we go to the mosques, they should speak about cleanliness. They should encourage us. They should encourage us to be clean. They should find a way to educate us to stop using rain as an opportunity to dump our refuse easily. When I was a young guy and I was sent to my grandparents in Kumasi, I used to go to, they call it Bola. I used to go to Bola every day, every morning before I'll come back and go to school. And that was the culture. But when it's raining, we see grown-up people trying to, and that is why at any time the Abuabu community, the stream is called Palele. Whenever it rains, it gets flooded.
So I'm hearing advocacy and education.
Education.
On attitudinal change.
Education.
Okay.
When we use the right approach, because you see, we are in a country where in as much as we feel everybody has he or she's individual mindsets, collectively, we follow a certain direction. Organization, institution, religion, we are groupings. When these group leaders find the young ones on how to do it, our curriculum should involve all those things.
Okay. Jamal, thank you. And I kind of like the direction of this one on this.
All
the
my
fact
directions have been positive.
I didn't say yours. I think that we need clean cities because it affects our health, has been allocated for
because in
for
the
use
past we've had when
all
we
right.
knew what happened.
So I want your opinions on two quick things before we rise in the next few minutes. And this next one is a conversation that has been had over and over again. And it's cost recovery versus consumer burden, utility tariffs, and service provided calling for upward adjustments in the pricing. ECG says it wants 2 to 5% in its distribution service charge. What this means in effect is that for the DSI, which is currently at 0 cedis 19 pesos, that will rise to 0.61 pesos. And over the period, they are asking between now and the year 2029 for this 225% increase to be effected. Of course, Ghana Water Company is also asking for an adjustment. PURC is making, and I'll refer it back to the president's media encounter. He did say that those consultations will happen, and as has been the case historically, if the history is to be followed, of the utility service providers getting the kind of percentages that they are looking for. But I'll start with you on this one, Jamal. The conversation has, in the past 9 months, it has always been the question that has been asked. Do you find the arguments for the cost recovery more urgent and pressing than the argument for easing the burden?
It's sad. It's sad that our utility institutions believe on its consumers. We need to ask ourselves, are the prices we are paying realistic? From their perspective, they will tell you it is not realistic. But from consumers' perspective, is it realistic? Is it that the utilities prices or tariffs are now more expensive than rent? That every quarter they, do you know why?
Or?
Do you know why? Because they know that definitely government will try to cut it down. And when government cuts it down, they would still have a significant % increase. That is not right. We believe that, or the MPP believes that we shouldn't overburden Ghanaians. Come back on its feet when it comes to economic matters. Ghana is not an exception. So our utility agencies at least have had an increase within this quarters of this year.
So the system in place now of the NDC government is that ECG inherited that. So sector...
Do you know last year, the first, second, third quarter did not see an increase in electricity tariff? Cumulatively, 2024, the increase was around 6%.
Election year luck?
It's not election year luck.
Okay.
Before that, because you see, find a way to close the loopholes. The problem is the loopholes. They tell you losses, production losses. So they can find a way to close the production losses. And we all saw the work that happened. Major institutions, including parliaments. Even there were reports that some media houses, including the James ones, were disconnected for owing. I know the routes to actively went out there to ensure that they mobilize resources. And the mobilization was because they have produced and they are supposed to take. They went out there aggressively and gathered resources to close the gap. That money they were able to raise was used in handling there was a mechanism that they did that monies went to the independent power producers. I've forgotten the name. I think whenever they are able to mobilize their fees and charges, it goes into the account and is distributed to the independent power producers to stop or to ensure that we don't go back to Dumso. You know, they were threatening
alternatives.
That is what I just said.
Just increasing tariffs.
Mobilization. Closing the gaps in the leakage. That's all. We cannot totally eradicate leakages, but we can find a way to close the gap. System we're putting in place, digital system we're putting in place to ensure that people can pay for their utilities efficiently. And once with this introduction of this digital system, it gives you what we call there's a term for it. Whenever people pay, you can just look at the screen and monitor the progress.
Real-time value.
Real-time value, thank you. You monitor the progress of payments. You know that this is the target. This is where we've gotten to. What do we need to do to get there? This introduction of digital system within these utilities have been able to ensure that corruption or leakages within the ECG itself, not the consumers, within the ECG itself, where people come and buy and the monies do not go. We're saying that instead of the easy approach, the lazy man's approach, increase the tariffs so that the little people or the deviant means.
Position going into this argument, knowing that the PURC is leading the charge on bringing a firm balance between the need to resolve the challenges within the energy sector, whilst also ensuring that the Ghanaian is cushioned, knowing that it is not the consumer's fault that the utility providers cannot seem to provide solutions to the leakages within their revenue collection systems.
Thank you. I think that the last 8 years, there was too much political interference in activities of Ghana Water Company, ECG. Too many.
What's your basis?
Government decided to privatize ECG, went and brought PDS. The PDS came, formed a cartel, collected revenue for 6 months. We truncated or we abrogated their contracts. The money they collected wasn't brought back to the ECG. Those who collected the money were nowhere to account for it. Then Hoptel was brought in for the collection of ECG monies. And then we were told that there were central people in government at the time.
Again, allegedly.
Yes.
So I like the word allegedly. And, not to go, there is the need to provide any documentation to back your claim. You would be there to provide it. So please continue.
Good. And so it was alleged that Bawumia was behind Hoptel. Up to now, he has never responded. I am told it is the brothers' company. Good. But you see, too many interference. There was a time. So you you have to go and load, come back and pay. So we all thought that was the best method where monies will go into a fund that will be used in running ECG and Ghana Water.
The Power App still works. No,
Yes,
if you find the need, and now is that what you are referring to? I want to understand the submission you're making.
Which app is that?
To buy credits to put on your meter.
Yes,
is that the one you're referring to?
No, but even when there was the app, when you go to ECG, you could pay on the counter at the ECG and pay your prepaid
with your card
at the counter at the ECG. You needed to go to a mobile base. Then we expected that the collection system had been centralized and there will be enough revenue for the ECG moving forward. But unfortunately, the report I'm hearing right now is the ECG is
Jamal, bear with me. I'll give you a couple of minutes.
The report, ECG is cash strapped. They are in difficult times. And that's why the government introduced the 1 CD, because of the money that was collected from the ECG. There was no percentage that was set aside to buy fuel to put money. So the ECG is always at the neck alert to what they are suggesting now. But you see, you cannot send 220%. Even 100% we will not agree. Even 100% we will not agree. If I am paying 100, you don't expect me to pay 200 Ghana cedis as for electricity or for water. No, it doesn't work like that. Definitely the proposals will be sent to PURC, like the president said. PURC will then find out the factors why you are asking production, cost of production, because the production losses is 42%. A company that is running for profit, you produce electricity and you are only able to save 58%, and you make 42% losses. So the management of the corporation must go to PURC.
A collection, revenue. So
the revenue collection is ECG. So your ECG management must go to PURC and explain to the PURC the reasons why they think that after making 42% losses. Tickled me a bit. Jamal says that Ghanaians cannot be burdened anymore.
Because we have a 10% salary increase on the basic for government sector workers. No idea what percentage private sector workers got as I sit here with you now. The 1 Ghana cedi per litre on fuel is still there. Yes, the COVID levy and some others have been taken over by the government, but these utilities remain with us, and so we have to pay a fair price for them.
Jamal says that he believes that the citizens of this country must not be overburdened. That is where I am drawing his attention to.
You disagree?
And that is the issue.
Do you disagree?
One, here. My point is here. My point is this. Under the MPP administration, they introduced certain kind of taxes. We call them nauseating and nuisance taxes.
And the Ghanaian people made their opinion clear on what they think those taxes mean.
Let me lie. If you do that, you truncate, I beg you. I have just started the point. So when you bring in that, it's like you are not comfortable with what I'm saying.
I am, but we have to wrap up this conversation in a few minutes. So I want you to, Jamal, hold you. I want you to bring your points to an end so that we'll hear what Jamal also has to say about your points. I am saying
that Jamal talks about we not burdening the citizens. Since we came, I think that life has been a bit moderate for the ordinary Ghanaian. Yes, because yes. Probably I've given you the floor. So this thing, because you're not saying you're
2 minutes. 2 minutes. You see it. So 2 minutes for you, and I'll come back to you for another 2 minutes, and then
maybe
we go.
You add it to mine.
No.
You see, when they were in opposition, they tried destroying the work of a young gentleman, Osu, who together with his partner set up Haptel. They did everything possible to destroy it, claiming it was for Dr. Baumia.
I won't have
Today he's repeated the same thing here.
I won't have time to go the back and forth. So just wrap up.
General, what did he say? Why are we doing this? Why do we have to destroy the work of young people, hard-working young people who are bringing innovations to make our life better and efficient?
A minute more for you.
He went on to say that you could go to the ECG office, you reduce the interface or the relationship between physical money and people. But you sit here due to politics. You make baseless claim. You repeat the lies you perpetuated.
And like I told him,
but isn't it a lie?
Let's learn to draw the lines between some of the comments you have and your opinions and facts. Let's draw some clear distinctions.
Help me with the name of that Attorney General. I've forgotten his name. Help me with the name of it.
So should I take that as the end of your submission?
No, that is not the end of my submission.
Your time is up.
Because, you see...
30 seconds.
You see, we should stop doing dirty politics with everything.
20.
My brother has been on air for over 20 years. And you still go and do pedestrian politics and propaganda. Why?
That's your time.
Why should you say Haptel is owned by...
Your time is up, Jamal. Thank you for that.
And so I'm not surprised that as mischievous as you are, you want to defend it. You see nothing wrong with that.
And your Attorney General, what was his relationship with Haptel?
You have nothing to do with it. Stop this one. Now listen.
What was his relationship?
We are not like the MPP government.
You've had your 2 minutes. So 1 minute and 30 more for you.
E-levy and said that without e-levy, the government of the Republic could not run. They went on town hall meetings.
Is it part of the ECG tariffs?
That is what the one you said that we should not burden Ghanaians.
Is it part of the ECG?
It is part of the not burdening Ghanaians.
Issues concerning...
It is not part of your 2 minutes, so please.
The fabrications you've made...
Jamal wants to take part of your 2 minutes. If you let him, he will.
Your people made.
If you allow him, he will. Jamal, please.
You are supposed to be controlling the program.
Jamal?
No, but it's a fact.
Thank you.
Said Dr.
Please go on.
And you see,
when you said one thing here and I said it was a lie, you nearly brought the studio down.
No, but
you got angry.
Because I had the
instead of you, we'll
be wrapping up in 30 seconds.
It's
I provided the evidence. Tell me, didn't I give you the evidence?
We'll be wrapping up in 30 seconds. And Dela, you still have the floor. If you take it, we'll go. Jamal, please, you had your time.
The government
let's keep this.
To repeat on this show that owns Haptel.
No, and you've rebutted it. So he has his time now. It's his time now.
You see, one of the things you don't understand is that I use the word "it is alleged," and you are still struggling. I am finding it difficult. That's graduate, we can't understand. It is alleged.
You know in court.
Now let's go ahead. You made a statement here.
Gentlemen, thank you.
You made a statement here and said that.
Gentlemen, thank you for the time you've spent with us this morning. And thank you for joining the conversations on Weekly Press Review. My guest this morning, Mr. Dela Edem, the head of communications at the Minerals Commission, and Jamaluddin Abdullah, a member of the NPP's National Communications team, have also shared thoughts on that, as well as Sanitation Day relaunch and the tariffs. Before we wrap up, let me remind you that the number of suicide cases are going up this week. The world celebrated Suicide Prevention Day, and in Ghana alone, over 470 suicide attempts were reported in the first half of 2025. And so we'll entreat you all, if you do have a concern, reach out to somebody for help. There is always help available there for you. Gentlemen, thank you for making time to be on the program.
We should advise our colleagues to talk to somebody.
I think that you've used up all the time that we have available for the program. And we'll call it a week. Next week, we'll be back again with another exciting edition of Weekly Press Review. Hopefully, your regular host, George Saffa, will be back in the seats. I've been holding the fort for him in his absence. I'm Thelma Taki from the entire production team. You enjoy your weekend. We'll see you again some other time. Bye-bye.